So we're here with Holly Bronko. She's the director of the movie All I Know. It's being featured at the Austin Film Festival 2011. Now, I wanted to know, is this directly related to House of Songs? How did you connect with Troy and the project?
In November of '09, House of Songs was doing the co-writing with the Danish, bringing the Danish musicians, and they would stay in the House of Songs. It's an actual house, and one of the guests was Roar Amundsen. And he has in Denmark a similar situation where he brings Scandinavian musicians to a castle in Denmark and has them co-write. And at House of Songs, the Danish write with the Americans. They do the co-writing. And I was branding a musician, Danny Malone, and we had a show that that Roar came to and saw. And Roar and Troy decided to put Nordic co-writers and House of Songs together and bring Americans to the castle in Denmark.
The musicians involved, like the Americans got there, had they had a chance to meet the Scandinavians before you started?
No. Yeah, nobody knew anything really of what was going to happen there. They didn't know each other, they didn't research each other. They kind of just knew that they were going to Denmark and there were other songwriters there. But I asked them when I interviewed each of them if they had, researched any of the other musicians, and none of them had almost at all. Like maybe, looked at one or two of them, on Facebook or MySpace or something, but everyone kind of came in just cold, just showed up.
And as the director, how was it to try and capture that, going from the, as you said, cold, meeting each other, to watching the dynamics of the relationships build?
Right. Well, I went there I didn't mean to make this film. It was actually kind of an accident. Like, I just, I wrote Roar a letter before the camp happened and said, I can come with and just shoot some photos and some video, if you want me to. So last minute they decided to bring me there, and they, he didn't really give me that much direction of what he wanted. I was kind of just expecting to make a 10-minute, promo video for this songwriting camp. So, but within, I guess it was in the first coupling, like within an hour of them starting to write, in the first room that I went in to shoot, I could just feel, something special was happening, like...
You knew you had something.
Yeah. By the end of the first day, exhausted, I looked at Roar and I was like, do you know what's going on here? And, we both just kind of let it happen because I could see all these relationships building and everything. And, yeah, about an hour in, I could see that something special was happening. By the end of the 3 days, I was like, I think I have enough for a film.
How long did it take them to actually start getting the songs up to speed?
Well, it kind of worked pretty similarly, as I could see, in each of the rooms, and you'll see it kind of in the movie too. Since they're getting into a room with one or two other people that, from a different culture, they just learned their name, can barely say their names yet, different languages, different writing styles, extremely different personalities. So they come in, they only have 3.5 hours to write and record a song to be played at the festival at the end of the week. So it has to happen pretty quickly. So but it would happen pretty quickly. It was like within the first hour they would have, you know, some of it written, you know, most of it written. They'd always come to this block at about, you know, 2 hours in, this pause, and then, you know, after that it would just, they'd work their way out of it by discussing like one word or something that they were missing in this, and then it would just wrap up. It's pretty instant that it would start going.
How did you choose, as far as with your editor, what to put in and what to leave out? Because there's just, it sounds like there's so many rich things that you had.
Yeah, that's hard. I could probably have a 4-hour movie if I used everything that I wanted to use. I tried to build it, you know, I had all these specific ingredients that I thought made this happen so magically. So it's like the language difference, the culture difference, the time constraints, the location, the different personalities. So I tried to make like a mathematical equation, but what it equals is kind of the unexplainable magic of the situation, or love or something. So where I would just pick things that went with each of these ingredients. All of them kind of talked about having such a similar experience that I could treat the experience as one thing. So, you know, instead of telling 12 different stories, I could use, you know, this part from one of the participants to prove this, and this part from another participant to prove this other part of it.
So even though they were all pretty much having their own journeys, it all kind of went along the same lines. They all experienced with different people and pretty much had the same thing.
Yeah, it was, you know, there were you know, different dynamics, but I found that in every interview, everyone kept saying almost the exact same things. So yeah, in one part of it, I just have everybody just like, they're repeating what the ones said before in their personal interviews. They'll use the exact same keywords, and they didn't know that the other ones had that exact same experience too. So
that's pretty fascinating, given the fact, like you said, they all have different personalities, different backgrounds, different genres, different languages, different cultures, and yet that's the beauty of music. They all come out with the same thing.
Yeah. I kind of see it as one experience as a whole. Instead of 12 individual experiences, I kind of see it as one as a whole. So it's kind of like this bubble. I mean, being at that castle, we kind of forgot everything outside of there for that short amount of time, and just, you know, I barely even noticed the students there. The castle is a art high school, and so there were probably 50 students there that I barely even noticed them there. We were all just kind of, you know, I don't know, they were recording and writing for maybe 20 hours a day, so we're really focused. But the location that this was held at, I think, has a lot to do with what happened there. It's a castle in Denmark that was built by astronomers and alchemists, and it has this certain effect on the people coming there to create. It's, I don't know, we found it to be a magic castle, like a real magic castle. It just made everyone really open to this creative process and shedding kind of all your excess and being your truest self to be able to create and collaborate in the way that they did.
Is there anything else that you want to add?
Well, we have a website, alliknowthemovie.com, and there's you know, a lot more information about the musicians, the individual musicians. And
there's a Facebook page.
the Facebook page, All I Know, and the castle. I think there might be a link to that on the website.
Okay, well, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.